Now, one thing I'm always curious about with people who are nearing the end of the in-ring career is, do you have any desire to continue in a non-wrestling role going forward, or is that something you've even considered yet?
I, I have never had a desire to do that. I always marveled at the guys that could hang out as a manager or, an agent or, and again, I'm different. I mean, I didn't know what pro wrestling was when I started, didn't know who Hulk Hogan was, had no interest in breaking into pro wrestling, and even after Rick Bassman tried for weeks to get somebody, he was asking me, and I just didn't have any interest. And so I was the guy that, I was going to do football, baseball, or basketball, but, got to be a young man and realized, okay, I'm not going anywhere in all three of those. So what am I going to do? Even though as a little kid, I always pictured myself doing something in stadiums and arenas, but I thought it would be like the big three: football, baseball, or basketball. And oh man, I was best at football, but I had love of game for basketball, so I stuck with basketball. But a 6'2" white guy going nowhere. That was me. And so, what am I going to do? And so I tried the bodybuilding thing. I was looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was making movies. He didn't even speak the English language when he first got here. Austrian guy who started doing movies and he was making money in real estate. And man, if he can do it, I can do it. So I started lifting weights and doing the competitive bodybuilding thing and bouncing and bartending in a nightclub in Hollywood and co-owned this Gold's Gym. And here comes Rick Bassman, and the rest is history. So I was always the guy who just, I didn't never wanted to be a pro wrestler really. But I ended up as a pro wrestler and I was the guy that I'm 4 or 5 years and I'm done. I'm going to get out. I'm going to try to make my money and get out. So prideful, just like every young and dumb guy out there. I just didn't have any direction, didn't know what I was going to do with life, and man, I stuck with it all these years, learned how to love wrestling. Got to love the camaraderie with the guys on the road and traveling all over the world and so on and so forth. And so, the roar of the crowd, and it's like I learned to love the wrestling business. And so here I am 40 years later.
I mean, what a ride, man. Jeez. For being something that you didn't like hardcore pursue, like the level of success you've had is incredibly impressive. So that's amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, once I made up my mind and had a resolve to do it, I mean, yeah, then I'm
then you just threw your whole self into it, huh?
Yeah. It's like anything in life that if you're trying to be successful in it, if you can't go part way, you got to go all out or
of course,
all or nothing. So
of course. So what do you think you're going to do to fill your, I know that you're not on the road every day, but you're obviously going to have a little bit more time on your hands now. What do you think you're going to do to fill that time now? Do you have any hobbies you're looking to pursue more or anything like that?
Yeah, I know. I've been asked that question over the years so many times. And like Arnold, who made money in real estate before he ever started making movies, I made money in real estate long before I got into pro wrestling. And so real estate is always something that I have been interested in. I learned how to do 1031 exchanges or like-kind exchanges over the years to avoid that capital gains tax, and the buying and selling of houses and dirt is a good thing. So I'm going to continue that and pursue it now. I really have. It's sort of been in the background for some years now, but I really want to get really involved with that again. And I want to be more active in my spreading the good news, the gospel good news of Jesus Christ to everybody. So I've been outspoken about who Jesus is to me and the fact that I'm a born-again Christian, a believer, since August of 1998 when my life changed drastically overnight. But yeah, I want to be now really, really focused on that. And that's one of the reasons why I came back into wrestling, just for the record. You know, why is Sting doing this? You know, so many people have wondered, you know,
I was
he
gonna
doesn't need
ask.
the money, you know, I mean, why he doesn't need the money? Why is he doing this to his body? And, you know, a big reason is to show these guys that there is something beyond this life, something beyond wrestling. And especially during those COVID years when you had depression and suicides and so many horrible things, lives being lost and people losing their livelihoods and their money and their homes and their, oh man, reputations, and it caused depression and all this all over the place. And I was like, you know, I've got an answer. You know, I've been there and done all the, you know, depression stuff, all the painkiller, muscle relaxer, alcohol, you know, lifestyle on the road, drugs, and just, you know, just fill in the blank on that lifestyle and what it can look like, you know. And here we were jet setting all over the world, and, you know, I was right in front of everybody, you know. I mean, it's just like, whew, you know, I'm lucky, blessed that I'm alive. I
Of course.
I should not be here. I can tell you 3 or 4 different occasions where I shouldn't be here.